Today's conversation is all about the driving forces behind your actions. It's important for us to all understand that there are only two things that our actions are seeking to produce for us. There are only two things, no matter what ways these things manifest, there are only two things. And before I reveal those two things to you, I want to talk about why honesty is so important within. Honesty is the policy. Honesty is so important. It's so integral within yourself because it allows you to see what it is that you really want and to actually get what you really want. Like I said, there's only two things that we really want. And when we're not sure about who we are, what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing, we really end up not getting what we want out of life. And we feel a certain way. We actually have feelings. We have emotions that arise. And when these emotions arise and they're not addressed, we store them. We store them deep within us. And they begin to color the way that we see the world around us. Now, it's important for us to recognize this and own this fact, and at least understand this fact, rather not own it, but understand it, because a lot of people don't. You will have issues, and these emotions that you've suppressed within yourself, that you don't allow to come up, that you don't sit with, that you don't address, that you don't deal with on its entire level, will often show up in other ways in your life. When you feel less than, you will often feel that you are not receiving what you should get out of life, right? Your reality will you will see life in that same feeling that you have not addressed, right? If you feel less than, but you deny it, right? You maybe have some shame around yourself or something like that, and you haven't really addressed it. You haven't brought it up to the surface and looked at it in the eye. What's going to happen is you will find that your life produces a lot of experiences that produce shame, right? You may not be making as much as you should with all your talents and your abilities, and it causes you to feel like, dang, maybe there's something wrong with you. Or maybe you get lowballed all the time and you accept the low balls because you might just be happy that somebody accepts you, even though you're full of shame. These things, these emotions, they have to be addressed. And I want to share this with you as well. Your emotions are not you. They're just expressions of your experience, and they are really manifestations of the relationship that you have with yourself. That's emotions, energy and motion, as people call them. But they are energy and motions, but they are just varying frequencies of energy. And those frequencies, our frequencies or our vibration or us in our experience is created from the relationship and the understanding of who and what we are. When we come into this world, in this realm, and our parents have their own issues and their own emotions that they haven't addressed, they are passing on those things to us. And thus, we become disconnected from ourselves at a very early age. And when you're disconnected from yourself, you don't properly express yourself, and you're not exactly sure how to deal with these things called emotions. It's funny because it's, to a degree, it's conditioned out of us. If you ever see a child throw a tantrum, and if nobody gives him any attention, he's gonna throw the tantrum for sure, but then he stops and he comes back, act like nothing ever happened. That's how we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to hold on to these emotions for years on end and however long it, like all these, we're supposed to let them go. We let them go. And since we haven't let these things go in such a long time, our life has begun to alter, and the things that are going on with us have been affected. Your quality of life, the money that you receive for the work, your ability and your confidence within all these things are suffering because of the emotions that we have not addressed within ourselves. So why is that so important? It's because, like I said, there's only two things that you're actually ever going for in life. Number one is the avoidance of pain. That's something that we actually seek, to avoid pain. And the second thing is to experience pleasure. That's it, family. That's it. Those are the only two things that we're really going after in life: avoiding pain or experiencing pleasure. And these have different manifestations. Why do you want to travel? Because it'd be a good time, it'd be fun, it'd be a pleasurable experience. Or why don't we want to talk to certain people, right? Because they probably invoke certain things in us, and they strike our chords in such a way where it's painful. But when you don't address your emotions, you're not entirely sure about what you should and should not be doing. In other words, you really haven't connected back with self, so you don't even know what self sees as pleasure. You've confused pain with pleasure, and some people say they're on the same poles, and they are on the same pole. Pain and pleasure, they're just sensations. But you can mix those things around because you're so confused within, and you don't know how to address your emotions, and so you stuff them down. You stuff them down, or you deny they're there altogether. And occasionally you may vent to somebody. But in order for us to really move forward, we have to recognize, one, that you're either seeking to avoid pain or experience pleasure. Then two, address the emotions that are stopping us from experiencing pleasure. You see? It's that simple, family. But if you don't have the right tools, if you don't have the right techniques, if you don't have the right methods, if you don't know how to actually deal with emotions, and a lot of people have not let go of emotions, they're actually still holding on to them. They vent them out every once in a while. They just say, that's part of my nature. It's not part of your nature, actually. You're holding on to it, and you're creating a new part of your nature, so to speak. And it's really just a facade. It's a mask. It's a wall. It's not really part of you, but it's going to express itself because it's sitting inside of you, because you don't know how to let go. You don't know how to make amends with these things that are stirring inside of you. So, as always, I encourage you to become very much more present, improve your self-awareness, and learn to sit with your emotion and let it run its course. Stop judging your emotion. Stop judging yourself for the things that you've been through in life. You don't have to make it make sense, as one of my mentors says. Stop making it make sense. Just accept that it is what it is. And then you'll see a new path emerge if you learn how to do this correctly. That's all I have for y'all today, family. I want to share that nugget. I want to share that insight with you. It is always my pleasure to share things with you and to help you all grow and develop into the best versions of yourselves. As always, I encourage you to join the I Define community. That will be at IALLG.com. And if you're somebody looking to take a next step in their life, go ahead and try and check out cpc.iallg.com. We are more than happy, and I'll say we, but I mean I have a team, but I'm more than happy to help facilitate the change that you want to go through. I'm more than happy to hold your hand as we go through an energetic shift from surviving to thriving. And so if that sounds like you, go ahead and visit cpc.iallg.com. Brother Coastie's site is coming up very, very, very soon. So stay tuned, family. With that being said, thanks for tuning in. This is Brother Coastie signing out. Peace.